Breaking right now, new reports that Prince Harry is fearing for his kids as wife Meghan Markle gets even more desperate to make her showbiz career work. Analysis from royal YouTube sensation P-Dina in just a moment, but first let me take you through this new reporting. Prince Harry is said to be fearing for his children's privacy as wife Meghan Markle attempts to claw her way back into Hollywood, RadarOnline can reveal. Now sources claim the California native's attempt to make it as a lifestyle entrepreneur has become a nightmare for Harry. Insiders claim Harry fears his children will be used as, quote, tools to help build his wife's new brand. A source told us he's desperate to shield their children from all the online haters and backlash, but he's powerless to stop it. And P-Dina, this is something that we've been discussing for some time. I've certainly been reporting on the fact that Harry isn't happy by the way that Meghan is literally commercializing her children. Some would even say pimping them out to say her shoddy products. Every single time she needs some more attention. For as ever, we've seen the children get involved. It was from the moment she returned from the Invictus Games after that fallout with Prince Harry. And of course, it culminated this week with her even naming a recipe in the New York Times after her daughter Lily.
Yeah. I see that's one of the things that I talked about, that she's always bringing her children into her selling of her products. And I think that is giving a lot of attention to her children that Harry just doesn't like. And the only thing that really I think could give her some success in what she is doing is to incorporate her children into what she's doing, and she knows that. But Harry doesn't want to do that. And you can even tell by when you hear these stories. Like I saw one the other day. Actually, it was this morning. It said breaking news. Meghan talks about her daughter Lily and shares a photo. And then I'm like, wait a minute, how is this breaking news? And then when you go to read the article, literally you will see like a foot. You'll see the back of the girl's head. You'll see some obscure photo of the girl and not really see her, but she wants to give the illusion, the impression that you are actually seeing the children, but you're not. And I think that gives us insight into what Meghan really wants to do, but Harry won't allow it. But that's what Meghan is doing. She's inching her way ever so closer to revealing her children eventually. It's going to be a big problem for Harry because Meghan is going to do what she wants to do, because he himself has always said, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. Well, what about that when it comes to what you want, Harry? Does she still get what she wants or what you don't want? That's going to be a big, big problem for them. And I can tell you, you have not seen really any photos of her and Harry recently together. This is insight, I think, into their current relationship. They are definitely fighting. I believe there's a lot of tension in the family because, like I've always said, they are no longer aligned in purpose. Harry's purpose is completely different from Meghan's purpose now. In the beginning, when they came to the States, they were aligned in purpose with deals and trying to make money and be, no longer connected to the royal family. This is a huge insight into their relationship, if anything, when you see this with Meghan happening.
Let's start with this bombshell. According to RadarOnline, Prince Harry is straight up fearful that his own children, Archie and Lilibet, are being used as marketing pawns in Meghan Markle's desperate attempt to relaunch her Hollywood image. Let that sink in. This isn't some tabloid nonsense. These reports come from insiders close to the couple. Now imagine this. Your wife, a former actress turned duchess turned lifestyle influencer, suddenly starts dragging your kids into every media stunt. First, it was the cookbook named after Lilibet. Then staged pap shots with them after events. Harry reportedly feels like he can't stop this PR machine, and he's right. Once the kids become part of the brand, there's no going back. That word, powerless, is devastating.
P-Dina, great analysis as ever. I also want to as ever, that actually wasn't done purposefully. I should ban that from my vocab. I don't want to use the phrase anymore. How terrible that now that lovely phrase is totally poisoned by Ms. Markle. God. I was really fascinated this week, by the way, by the podcast with Shalon Lester speaking on the Heather McDonald Juicy Scoop show. Now, this is casting our mind back a few years to when Meghan was in the royal household. And obviously for me, that's a really interesting period because I was covering what was going on. I was breaking a lot of these stories. But I have to completely agree with Shalon Lester's analysis and reporting about what was really going on at the time. It's fascinating. Let's watch this together, P-Dina, and I'll get your analysis
Meghan
after.
Markle story.
Oh, yeah. I was at Star at the time. And priorly, you know, we'd always written about the royals. They're a huge seller.
Yeah.
And they were a very tight ship. The House of Windsor was a tight ship. There was no sources. There was no nothing. When Meghan got in there, leaky AF. Like, people were singing like a bird because she sucked. And the accounts we were getting, people are like, we are risking our job, our family's legacy. Like, the people who work in service at that level, it is truly like a calling. Like, they're very proud of it. It's not just a job they take lightly. They're going to work in service for a lifetime. They're going to pass that down. And so for them to risk that, to share how awful this woman is.
And how was she awful? Like, give me some examples.
Yelling, ungrateful, rude. She came in there and it was this like, I'm a disruptor. This is not the place you disrupt. And to your point, I absolutely get it, where it's like, yes, so many mother-in-laws like, you're taking our son from us. This to me is why I hate Harry. He should have been less of a wuss. He should have been out in front. If that's the case,
right?
If his family is that toxic that he needed to break away from them, he should have been like, this is my decision. Like, he should have been on the tip of that spear telling
I feel
everyone.
like he did a little bit in the Oprah interview.
If we flip the genders on this, and if you had a man isolating a woman from a big, stable family, and then turning and being like, you can't work, but it's like, I'm the reason you can't work because I took you from this family, and you are subservient to me, so you're going to do things my way. We would see that so clearly as an abusive dynamic. That would not be like, well, you know, she has to stay home. She has to stay home because he's created that situation, and not by an accident. It seems very advantageous that, yeah, she's the breadwinner. Yeah, she's making all the decisions. That is part and parcel of her personality, which seems to be, as we're seeing, pretty hungry for power and influence. And hey, you can't knock the hustle, but don't then turn around and say you're the victim. Just be like, yeah, I'm fucking power hungry. Rah, like, go for it.
P-Dina, so much to pick up on there. Where do you want to start?
We're talking about a father who served in Afghanistan, a man born into privilege and duty, and yet in his personal life he's reportedly lost control. That's not just a rough patch. That's a relationship imbalance that is screaming for help. This is the kind of thing you usually see in legal custody battles, not royal marriages. Meghan is allegedly inserting her children's names, images, even partial glimpses, into her brand rollouts to stir buzz. And guess what? The media eats it up. Meghan shares photo of Lilibet, but the photo is just the back of the child's head. Total illusion. Here's the kicker. It's working. It's calculated. It gives the illusion of access while maintaining just enough mystery to keep people intrigued. But it's also deeply exploitative if the father is not on board. And based on P-Dina's insight and multiple reports, he's very much not. Those words, pimping them out, aren't mine, but they reflect what many feel.
Yeah, I think in the beginning, Harry did try to say it was his decision. We have to remember during the Bali event in the United Kingdom before they left, Meghan was in Canada at the time, and Harry talked about leaving and going to Canada, and it was his decision. He always went, and during the Oprah interview as well, but we can see now that it was never his decision. It was always Meghan's decision, but they knew that Harry had to say it was his decision. And I think part of the problem we see now is that Harry is finding that he has no power because he's agreed to allow Meghan to call the shots behind the scene while he looked like he was the one saying it's my decision. And now he's left with no power to do what he really wants to do, and that is to not show his children, to not have them be a part of it, to be more engaged in philanthropy. Meghan is, like she was saying, she is so hungry for power and to do what she wants. She is hustling big time. And that has always been Meghan. She has always been that person, because I remember during the Netflix documentary when one of her friends that was speaking talked about that. And I don't know if a lot of people caught on to it. They said Meghan has been the kind of person that has been hustling, very much a go-getter. She can't sit still. She's always trying to do new and inviting things to, get her thrill on, to explore and to like create and do all these wonderful things. That was always the case. So that's why we can see Harry was the one sitting back and allowing Meghan to do all of these things. But now where has it left him? It's left him with really no say, because the momentum of what he's allowed Meghan to do is gotten it's off the charts now. She's running with it. So whatever he says, it doesn't matter, because Meghan is going to do what Meghan wants. And yeah, that's the problem. And then Meghan wants to come off like she's just this humble girl trying to do these, cute, simple things with her business. But no, and she talked about that, Shallon. She talked about how she doesn't come off as authentic. And we're essentially watching Meghan fail while Harry allows or has to allow her to do what she's doing. It's quite a dynamic what we're watching right now with Meghan and her brand, and then what's going on behind the scenes as Harry and Meghan, the couple. There's a lot happening.
And what about her suggestion there, P-Dina, that if the genders were reversed, we'd actually be sitting back and saying, this is an abusive sort of relationship? I mean, Lady Colin Campbell has said here she is convinced there's coercive control going on at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we would see that. We would see people feel like Harry was dominating her. They would think that he was controlling her, and it would be a lot more outrage. I think a lot more people would call that out, but it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing, and now it's happening to Harry. I mean, there's just no denying of that. Harry has come from a very stable, very unique life that he is now thrust into a world that is so just it's almost like he's been thrown to the sharks almost. He's like in this very foreign world. He doesn't know this world that Meghan knows. And that in itself, I think, is abusive, because this is a prince who is now detached from everything that has made him that unique title. And it is an abuse of this man and what he knows and where he has come from. He's come from this isolated world where things have always been done for him. And now he's fending for himself and trying to wield some power, I think, to hold himself up as the man of the house to this woman who's just gone crazy with the power that she's been given.
Meghan is creating a royal-flavored goop empire. But unlike Gwyneth Paltrow, she's leveraging royal children to do it. That's a line you just don't cross. Unless, of course, your brand needs it to survive. This part really floored me. P-Dina brings up something that more people need to hear. If Harry were the one isolating Meghan from her family, controlling her career, and using their kids to sell a personal brand, this would be front-page news. The media would crucify him. It would be textbook emotional abuse. But when the roles are reversed, when it's a man being silenced, manipulated, and leveraged, it's glossed over. Instead, it gets spun as a modern love story. Folks, this isn't a love story anymore. This is a toxic power struggle, and Harry might be on the losing end.
And so now Harry is put in this unique position to fail, to lose his sanity, I believe, and all the criticism around his work with the Sentabali charity now, this PR crisis that he is in. That you top that on top of the things that have been happening for Harry right now. He is in a downfall of proportions that I don't think people are really seeing what is happening. I think this is why he had his friend speak out on his behalf yesterday to say he's in shock about everything, because he wants to get his voice heard about I'm losing it. Something is happening to me. And I think we haven't really pinpointed that to be as serious as I believe it truly is right now. It's bad for him.
Yeah, indeed. It's also been bad for Meghan Markle this week, though, P-Dina. New exclusive reporting from the Daily Mail, which was released to coincide with the launch of As Ever, the product line, is headlined, "We're already over it." Netflix staff who are trying to make Meghan's As Ever brand a success are tired of drama surrounding the Sussexes and fear her jam won't sell. And I think it really is worth digging down into this article, P-Dina, because there is some fascinating stuff from the Netflix staff. So, Mail Online's insider claims that the Montecito startup has proved to be a logistical nightmare after the 11th hour name change from American Riviera Orchard, and because they have no idea how well her products will sell. Meghan's As Ever wares, including her jam, honey, herbal tea, and crepes mix, launched today in what she admits is a pivotal moment for her brand. But people working on the retail project are said to be tired of the drama surrounding the Duchess of Sussex and Prince Harry, who has now been engulfed by scandal surrounding the Centre Bali charity. And there's some great detail here, P-Dina, because they report that the staff have been asked to sign NDAs to keep secret where the products, including her fruit spread, are being made. And a source told the newspaper there is so much drama surrounding them once again that internally the team are over it before it's even launched. It's been a logistical nightmare and the buying team are having an issue as they can't work out what the demand will be, if any. Mail Online source said that away from the social media buzz, there are still fears internally about whether Meghan's new brand will fly. Team Sussex is believed to have lined up famous faces and influencers to help boost sales. People will be posting their jars of jam. They've seeded it to lots of influencers to get it out there and to plaster social media with good vibes on launch, they said. And what's so interesting about this article, P-Dina, is it makes us realize that all of the sold out stuff was a marketing stunt, which is what we believed it was. But also, I think the fact that they've been so desperate to get influencers to post, but very few have, because if you're an influencer and you are consulting with your manager or your PR or just the people around you, you're going to be told, just don't involve yourself in this. Like, she is so toxic. What did you make of this exclusive reporting about the Netflix team?
And that's the heart of it. These two aren't aligned anymore. Meghan is building a global lifestyle empire. Harry, he wants privacy and peace. But he's stuck in the brand machine she built, with his own children as the currency. Let's not forget Meghan's brand isn't just a passion project, it's her comeback. But without Harry's name and without royal mystique, it doesn't sell. That's why the kids are being brought in. It's Meghan's last Hail Mary, and Harry knows it. But Hollywood's catching on.
Well, I thought it's very interesting to, what they said, because I mean, you have to think, if you're speaking from their perspective as people that are part of this marketing team, you have insight into what the demand could be, because people are reaching out, people are asking, there are people that are inquiring, perhaps companies or individuals. And if they don't know that this is going to be a hit or a miss, they don't have some kind of projection, that tells me there is nothing. There's nothing there, because they would at least know something by what people are saying or asking. People would definitely at this level have some insight. So to me, that is very revealing. And I think Meghan herself has made a lot of problems for the Netflix people because of her behavior. That this is why they're saying they're over it. She has caused so many, just imagine her anxiety at this level, okay? She herself sees it happening, but because she is so struck on making this a success, she is going to, at the level, annoy people to a degree where they start saying that we're over this, because they're seeing the anxiety and things that are happening from Meghan's perspective, from the people behind the scenes, all the negative publicity that she gets, and people just don't want to deal with it. And so they have this insight of just wanting to not have to deal with this woman. And that I think is very revealing because these are people that know their business. They know how to market material. This is something they've never seen before. And so I think that this is part of the reason why they're saying that and coming out. Because what negativity surrounds any brand like Meghan's brand? I mean, the minute you come out and associate yourself attached to her brand, there is a lot of pushback. A lot. Meghan brings so much negativity with her that the other people that are in her circle see it. So I'm sure they want to be out of that circle of dealing and working with someone like Meghan. Very revealing to me.
Indeed. And P-Dina, it's been interesting to see this week lots more talk stateside about this idea that Harry and Meghan should leave America, that there should be a second Megxit. Lee Cohen, our friend, said they thrived in Biden's America, mixing it up with liberals who nodded at every platitude. But he writes, ultimately, Harry and Meghan's unease in a resurgent America lays bare a truth. Their performative virtue needs deference to mask its flaws. Trump's America offers no such refuge. The visa saga, veiled in secrecy and public backlash, crystallizes their bind. Having fled one legacy, they now flounder in another, tethered to a nation they subtly mock yet milk. Their next step, Megxit 2, to some progressive enclave or a defiant Montecito stand, will reveal more than just their address. And of course, the publication of this article comes as Senator Mike Lee becomes the most senior political figure in America to suggest that Trump should actually deport Harry and Meghan. So is there a building feeling stateside about this idea of maybe the visa scandal being the final straw?
Netflix is reportedly frustrated. Spotify dropped them. Even the tabloids are bored. And when your brand relies on constant drama just to stay in the headlines, you're not building a business. You're surviving a slow-motion PR crash. So where does this leave Prince Harry? Powerless. Unhappy. Watching his wife parade their kids to sell products he doesn't believe in. That's not a modern man. That's a trapped one. The fairy tale is over. Now we're just watching the credits roll on a saga that went from royal romance to reputational ruin. And the question we should all be asking is, when does Harry finally wake up?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's never going to go away. I mean, you have the Heritage Foundation doing what they're doing. They're very tenacious, and there is going to be a buildup to, I think, a lot of things that they decide to do. And I think you look at people. I mean, Harry's been very opinionated about the things in America, things that are very close to a lot of people. So I think Harry and Meghan, for that matter, have brought on a lot of opinions that have not rubbed people the right way. So people are going to feel very opinionated about them and want to rise up certain feelings that are just may not be good for Harry. And I think it could be something that could happen. I think, especially when his brother becomes the king, I think there's going to be other things for across the pond with that. There's just something that is not good about Harry and Meghan that comes at you from all sides. It's the marketing, it's the Bali, it's Harry's deportation, it's their marriage, it's the family relations. I mean, the amount of negativity that engulfs this couple is going to just keep getting bigger and bigger to where the collapse of who they are as a together brand is going to be there for the whole world to see. That's exactly what we're watching.
Yeah, indeed we are. Indeed we are. And it's pretty traumatic to watch, isn't it? Because one thing that is very telling is that nothing's going to stop her. P-Dina, nothing is going to stop her. Nothing is going to delay her. This Bali scandal, and it is a scandal, did not even make her pause for thought. She didn't even think maybe I should say something, maybe I should address Dr. Sophie Kandoka, nothing. It was just plow on.
Yeah, she is definitely giving him a run for his money. I mean, there's been no one like her. And I think this is why she gets so much support because we're like, finally, somebody is saying something. Somebody has come out with firsthand experience and telling us things that we've been hearing through other parties, second parties. And this is why this is so like phenomenal to hear her come out and say these things because no matter how you look at it, this has been going on for a long time. And we've been hearing reports of it. We've been hearing, people's opinions about what's going on behind the scenes. But this lady is giving us firsthand experience, along with video footage of what we saw happening a year ago. And we're like cheering her on like a superhero. And we're excited to hear her say the things that she is saying. And you can only imagine how, on top of all the things that are happening for Harry and Meghan, this is like putting it at another level that we've never seen it before. And this is how it's going to continue to rise up and just be very difficult for them to squash it. And I think it's going to be very difficult for Meghan to supersede this, what's happening with her husband, to kind of say, hey, wait up, my brand as ever, no, people are not going to have time for you. They never had time in the first place, but especially now because of what's happening with Harry. Because she doesn't say anything, Meghan doesn't say anything, and Harry, he don't know what to say. He has his friends come out and say something for him. So it's just a disaster. Watching it is just crazy.
Oh, it is, P-Dina, but we will enjoy watching it, and I enjoy watching your brilliant channel. To get your analysis, make sure you do subscribe to P-Dina on YouTube. And P-Dina, I'm off on my cruise, but we're doing something very special next time, an AMA, when it is the incredible outspoken audience asking the questions. So the next time I see you, we will be doing that together. Thank you so much.
That's it for today's breakdown, folks. If you think Harry needs to reclaim his voice and his life, drop a comment below. Smash that like button, subscribe for more uncensored takes, and let me know. Is Meghan's brand collapsing? Or is Harry about to finally fight back?